You're better off listening if you one at a time.
Pretend you're not using it.
I'll hold it here. All right, well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be asked to come down here. My name is Mullian Smith, and I'm a Penobscot Nation tribal member, a member of our tribal council. So I'm just really excited to be here, and I know the political and social climate right now, it's tough on a lot of people. And I know living as a woman of color in America right now, it's kind of daunting and scary. I have two daughters, and thinking about them growing up as Indigenous women in this country, it can be kind of terrifying. So I think stuff like this is so good to bring together, kind of like-minded people, that might be marginalized, or our allies as marginalized people, so that we can not only get together and, foster these good feelings, but hopefully create, some really important social change, and positive steps. I attended a conference of tribes in Washington, D.C. just last month, and it actually made me feel a lot better being there and kind of seeing, there's chaos and there's tension, but a lot of people are working really hard. Obviously, for an Indigenous person, we're having a tough time right now. This past few months, the situation at the Dakota Access Pipeline site with the Standing Rock Sioux has been very, awful, but it has shown the world that, we can stand up and we'll literally, make physical barriers, against these, corporate greed and these policies and, the political maneuvering by this administration right now, to really kind of squash and trample our rights. So it's not over. Today we had the camp forcibly evacuated. The protectors are being, arrested and terrorized, and it's shameful what's going on right now. We're working this hard for clean water. Which you talk about human rights. That's a very basic human right. So our hearts are kind of heavy. As Indigenous people, the Mother Earth is at the core of who we are. In our Sweat Lodge ceremony, we return, to the Mother in the lodge and, feel the heartbeat, and we're renewed and we're cleansed and we struggle, but, she brings us back to life. So, I've seen so many people just saying, she's weeping right now. Like us as a human race and those in power, we're just destroying her and, desecrating her. And it's painful, for all people. And, to feel like we were coming so far under President Obama, and then just boom, the first, couple of weeks. But I think it's important to remember that this is the time when people like us are needed. As a mother, as an Indigenous person, as an elected official, as an activist, this is when we need to be strong. We borrow this strength from our ancestors and we bring it, to things like this. And, this is the time for people like us, And I guess I just wanted to say, women, minorities, immigrants, disabled people, homosexuals, transgender people, nobody's alone, because I think people like me and people like us are willing to be a voice, for all those people that could so easily be lost in the shuffle, in this climate right now. I had a Malcolm X quote, of course. Well, they asked me to do this, and I said, they know I'm not all that peaceful, right? I kind of believe it. But it has to do with, it's not, when people are unjustly oppressed, they shouldn't be expected to, let somebody else who's oppressing them set the rules for them to come out of that oppression. And I think that's so important to remember right now, that we're still here, we're strong, we're many, we're in beautiful company, and we're going to start making the rules.
Raise your hand if you're feeling some kind of pain about the future of our community or our country right now. Yeah, thank you. Now raise your hand if for generations your family has experienced the same kind of pain and uncertainty. A few of you. A few of you. But let's take a second in this space to acknowledge that some of us have had the privilege of this fear being new to us. Thanks. If you raise the hand right here in this moment, please acknowledge that you feel pain. Then ask yourself, what can you do about it? What are you going to do about it? The decision to actively address the pain and not reject it or ignore it is a revolutionary act. It's revolutionary. So I'm here tonight asking you all to revolt. Go ahead. It's in all of our self-interest here to stop ignoring our feelings that something is wrong. So my objective here is to help folks be more conscious of that we're in pain, right? Yeah. To know that these feelings and experiences are how we end depression. Through acknowledging and admitting that that's happening is how we do it. We won't fight oppression by oppressing other people and making them wrong so we can be right. We don't fight oppression through anger and hatred because these emotions are not able to be logical and sensible. And you can't fight oppression by rejecting the pain you feel. You just can't do it. But what you can do is you can end oppression by admitting that it's happening. You fight by using the people in this space, using all the other justice organizations in our community, of which there are almost 100. Right. And this community as a whole helps us stay grounded and focused now. What do we need? And you start by confronting the pain you feel, because that's how we know what we need. What you feel helps you be called into action. What helps us act helps us all heal. And it's what our community needs more of. You end depression by healing from it. And you can't heal if you ignore or reject what's happening. Self-care in a world that's oppressing us is a revolutionary act. What do you need to take care of yourself when you're feeling the pain and the fear that you're feeling? I'm Kimberly Hamill. I'm representing the Bangor Racial and Economic Justice Coalition. I'm really glad to be able to take part in this event tonight. Thank you. The Bangor Racial and Economic Justice Coalition is a group of concerned citizens from the Penobscot Valley who've organized for a more economically sustainable, culturally vibrant, and racially just community. The next meeting is on the 27th at 6 p.m. at Maine People's Alliance, where we practice skills at connecting with each other and doing this. Finding out what we're feeling called to do. What do we need to do for ourselves and what do we need to do for our community? We have affinity groups which develop their own schedules, and they include a rapid response network, a grassroots organizing campaign committee, a soul work justice organizing network, and an accountability network. So I hope to see you at our meeting. Please come talk to me after this. Friend me on Facebook and I'll add you to our group. And I want to express love and appreciation for people tonight who have mentally committed to taking actions to address pain. Thank you.
I just wanted to thank all of you for being patriots. What you're doing right now is a great patriotic act. And a lot of times when I see that flag right there, that flag on the sign, the red, white, and blue flag right there, a lot of times I hear people use that flag to other categories of people, to somehow use the American flag in a way that somehow means there's us and then there's you bad people over there. And to me, I believe in this flag. I believe it means something valuable. It doesn't mean that America's perfect. America was founded in slavery. America was unjust to indigenous people. Women couldn't vote. People without land couldn't vote. A whole bunch of injustices in the history of this country. But I still believe in this country. Why? The most important reason, this country had a tradition and has a tradition of being self-critical, of saying, we were wrong and we're going to get better. We're going to try to do the right thing. And that is what most disturbs me about so many who are in power right now, is they're saying, not only are we not going to try to get better, we're going to actually regress to the past. And so you are the patriots for standing up for the great American values, which means we criticize. We say openly that here is a problem and we're going to try to address it. And no time do I see it as more important in my lifetime anyway than right now. You know, I spent a lot of time in elective office, and I like being in elective office, and frankly, in those times I didn't used to go to protest that much. I was the person in elective office. I've been mayor and state senator for this town. You come protest to me. But now I look at what we're seeing in this country, and I look at what we see in the White House, and I want our elected officials, and I'm particularly thinking of our federal elected officials, to stand up for us, Because right now, I am not willing to accept. I'm not willing to accept an elected official who says to me, listen, I voted for injustice in committee. I'll vote for justice later when it doesn't count. When it gets to the floor. No, no, no. You vote for justice in committee. You vote for justice on the cloture vote. You vote for